Hello, Namaste, and happy Ramzan to all the Muslim students. I hope everyone is staying safe and taking all the health and hygiene measures. The topic that we are going to do today is planning process. Now, first thing is you have to remember then, like when you talk about planning process, this topic is to be always be in a chronological sequence. I mean, like point was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In examination, they might ask you the bullet points, or they might ask you any of the case studies in which you have to explain. So let us start with this today's session. Planning process. First thing is, when you make any plan, you have to set the objectives. That is, objectives means your goal should be clear कि हम किसके लिए काम कर रहे हैं, क्या काम करना है, कितनी देर तक हम काम करेंगे. And for doing that work, whether we have that financial resources, whether the company is having that physical resources, yes or no. So you have to make a proper plan, you have to make a proper draft, and after that you can design your next step. So first thing of planning is you set your objectives clear, what you want to do, how will you do it, and in what time it has to be done. So this is known as setting up objectives. Now once the objectives have been decided, every person in the organization should also be aware that why companies what company wants to do. So the same objective should be made clear or should be communicated to all the employees working in the organization. So starting from top to bottom level, everyone should be aware of these things, that is setting up of objectives, what is the purpose of the organization, why they want to do it. So that is known as setting up of objectives. Point number 2 is developing premises. Premises means assumptions. Again, I'm repeating. Premises means assumptions. You have to assume certain things in future. When you make a plan, you have to be optimistic कि मैं ये काम करना चाहता हूँ, ये चीज़ ऐसी होगी. You have to calculate certain things in your favor and you have to assume certain things. So that is known as developing premises. Now premises can be in the numerical form, that is quantitative. It can be in the attribute form, that is qualitative. So you have to assume certain things when you make plans. So we can also call it as forecasting. So forecasting means you have to gather information about the business that you want to do and how will you do it. Say for example, I want to start a restaurant in Bhavnagar. Which road I will prefer? I will prefer Vagavadi road. So I have to assume that my restaurant will work there in spite of so many other restaurants are there on the same road. So I have to be optimistic and I have to assume certain things. That is known as developing premises. Third thing is list the various alternatives for achieving the objectives. कोई भी एक काम करने के 3-4 तरीके होते हैं. Say for example, from here I want to go to a certain place. Say for example, from here I want to travel to Mumbai. From Bhavnagar to Mumbai, I have road, I have buses, I mean road transportation through bus, I have train, I have through airways also I can go. So I want to go. Now as per the urgency, which method I will prefer, I have to see my budget also, as plane would be costly compared to the trains. Then train, again the options are the third AC would be costly compared to the sleeper coach. उसी तरह से जब आप बिजनेस करते हो एंड स्पेशली वेर हैंडलिंग प्रोडक्शन एंड सेल्स, देर वुड बी वेरियस ऑल्टरनेटिव्स फॉर डूइंग अ सर्टन वर्क. तो कुछ काम, जो काम करने के तरीके हैं उसका आपको लिस्ट बनाना है. उसको हम बोलते हैं लिस्टिंग द वेरियस ऑल्टरनेटिव्स फॉर अचीविंग द ऑब्जेक्टिव्स. एक काम करने के काफ़ी तरीके होते हैं, कौन सा आपको सूट होगा उसकी फिर हमको उसका स्टडी करना है. वी हैव टू सी दैट इन द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक, आई मीन नेक्स्ट पॉइंट. Now there are various options and we have to now evaluate which option is better. Say for example, I want to, as I said, I want to go from here to Mumbai and there are 3 methods: roadways, railways and airways. Which one is better? Airways is better, quick, or it is costly? Will it come in my budget? Will it serve my purpose? उसी तरह से जब हम काम करते हैं, especially when you are producing something or when you are in a production unit, you have to evaluate and study each and every point. You have to also see the positive aspect, you have to also see the negative aspect, and you have to evaluate the various options available. That is known as evaluation of different alternatives. Now once you have studied all the alternatives, you have to select an option. There is no rocket science in selecting an option, it is purely on logic. What can give you the best result, what is your feasibility, which will suit your organization, which will suit your employee, which will suit your organizational conditions. आपके पास जो सोर्सेज लिमिटेड है उसमें वो काम हो सकता है कि नहीं हो सकता है. After studying everything and evaluating all the options, you have to select the most better option, that is known as selecting an alternative, that is known as the most ideal plan has to be selected, which are having the less chances of negativity or less chances of negative results, that is known as selecting an alternative. Now the next one is, sixth one is implementing the plan. Implementing the plan means there are many organizations which keeps plans on paper, but you have to also see that plans are put into actions, that is known as implement the plan. Plans are just not for the papers or for planning purpose, it has to be executed, it has to be implemented. So all the plans which has been made has to be put into action. The employee should also carry out the activities as per the plans. It is very important that all the plans which has been made has to be executed. At all the steps of production process, there should be a check process which will make sure that plans are implemented in a better way. So the managers of all the departments, first of all, they should be also aware about what plans we're implementing. Then they should be also coordinating amongst each other for the implementation of plan. So that is known as implementing the plan. Point number 7 is follow up. This is what your mother keeps you on telling, or your father keeps you on telling, padhai karo, padhai karo, padhai karo. Why? Because follow up is very important, especially in countries like India. The monitoring of plan is very, very important. Say for example, we made a plan and we are doing it, but we have to also see at every step, maybe weekly or quarterly or monthly or 6 monthly or yearly, depending on the plans, that whatever we have planned, it has to be reviewed and it has to be followed up again and again, so that you are on the track, so you can know that you are on the track and you're not diverting in any of the ways. That is known as follow up of the plan. So these are the 7 points. Again, as I said, you have to write all these points in sequence when it is concerned, and which will, this process is something which you need to take most important, because planning process has been asked number of times in examination till I know. So this is all about process of planning. Stay safe at your home. Thank you very much. This is it for today. For any queries, please do call me or WhatsApp me on my number. I'll be there to guide you. Again, just to repeat the same thing and again, this chapter is all about bullet points. Till now we have done features of planning, 7 points. Further you have to remember 6. Then same way, importance of planning, 6 points. Limitations of planning, 6 points. Process of planning, all the 7 points. Again I'm repeating, process of planning, all the 7 points, because when you talk about process, it starts from 1 till 100. तो प्रोसेस के जितने भी पॉइंट है आपको सातों 7 पॉइंट याद रखना है. एंड इन एग्जामिनेशन, if the question is asked, mention the process, list down the process, you have to write the points. If it is about explanation, then you have to explain in brief. They might ask you also the sub points, like what do you mean by developing premises? The answer should be, it is about assumptions. If they ask you what is follow up, so follow up means you have to review the plan and you have to get the follow up done, कि काम हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है, and you have to remind your employees or your workers again and again. So this is all about process of planning. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.